Keir Starmer's government can't survive a single news cycle without tripping over its own shoelaces. And this week's clown car moment? His director of strategy, the guy literally paid to avoid scandals, Paul Ovenden, resigning in shame because he got caught years ago sending sexually explicit filth about Diane Abbott. You heard that right? The first black woman elected to Parliament, a woman who has survived decades of racist bile and sexist abuse, and the big brain behind Starmer thought she was fair game for some late-night shag, marry, kill gutter talk. This wasn't witty banter, this was full-blown locker room sewage, jokes about sex toys, graphic descriptions, Abbott reduced to a party game punchline, and now, when the receipts surface, Ovenden does the politician's cha-cha. Yes, those were my words, but it was 2017. I was just a junior press officer, silly conversation, didn't start it. So sorry if you were offended. Pathetic. That's not an apology, that's a LinkedIn post with tears emoji missing. And let's not pretend this is harmless fun from the past. These weren't just private jokes, they were part of the culture, the smug boy club filth that turns black women in politics into caricatures, punchlines, bodies for ridicule. Diane Abbott has carried abuse like Atlas, holds up the sky, and yet here comes Starmer's inner circle, recycling the same sewage in WhatsApp threads, and then these people want to sell themselves as the moral high ground? Please. Labour's new politics smells like old piss in a new bottle. Starmer's crew tried damage control. Downing Street called the messages appalling and unacceptable. Ovenden fell on his sword, saying he didn't want to be a distraction, but the distraction is the whole damn show. Starmer's project is built on pretending Labour is squeaky clean, sober, sensible, and now his director of strategy is gone, Angela Rayner's gone. The headlines are about sex scandals instead of policy, and the opposition is sharpening their knives. And don't get it twisted. This isn't about one man's bad judgment. This is about who gets protected, who gets humiliated, and what gets excused in politics. If this were a Tory aide, Labour would be foaming at the mouth, screaming hypocrisy. But because it's Starmer's boy? Suddenly it's, oh, it was a different time. He regrets it. Let's move on. Funny how quickly the moral compass breaks when it's your own crew under the spotlight. So here's the truth. Paul Ovenden isn't the scandal. He's the symptom. The real scandal is that Labour keeps promising change but serves up the same stale, sexist, racist rot dressed up in red ties. Diane Abbott deserves more than this constant humiliation circus. The public deserves more than a government that collapses at the first whiff of its own hypocrisy. And Starmer? He looks less like a prime minister and more like a landlord whose tenants keep throwing wild parties he swears he knows nothing about. Paul Ovenden quit, but the stench lingers, and the question hangs heavy: if this is the calibre of the men whispering in the Prime Minister's ear, what does that make Starmer himself? A leader, or just another custodian of Britain's endless boys' club politics, where the only thing that ever changes is the shade of the scandal?